Hey folks, it's Brig again. I wanted to provide some background on my journey into triathlon. I had the privilege of working with professional and elite amateur athletes back in the early 2000s. Working on products catering to their needs gave me direct insight into what the daily life of an elite triathlete was. Now, a few years into this, I got the racing bug. I was always a runner, having played soccer all through high school and then having to run when I was in the Navy as part of my physical fitness tests. And then even after military service, running was my favorite form of exercise. Now, working directly with these incredibly fit individuals, as well as some of my peers who were taking on marathons and triathlons, I decided to sign up for my first race. A local sprint race, the Pat Griskus Sprint Triathlon in Middlebury, Connecticut. It consisted of a half-mile swim, followed by a 10.5-mile hilly bike, and then ending with a 5K out and back with a very difficult hill at the end. In fact, I didn't even have a tri bike for this. I did the bike portion on my Walmart Sorrento mountain bike. Now, race day, I remember being completely cooked at the end. I didn't know what I had gotten myself into, but I finished. The time was awful, though, having finished in the bottom quarter of everybody completing the race. The funny thing is, though, a few days later, I had realized my accomplishment and started taking racing more seriously. I did the same race every year and loved it, improving my time year after year. Now, I started taking on other races, doing the New York City Marathon 3 times, and then I did the Pat Griskus Olympic Triathlon, which is a 1-mile swim, and then a hilly 25-mile bike, followed by a hilly 10K. Now, I was happier with my time, having finished just around the middle of the pack. By this time, I'd also purchased a road bike, which made the New England hills much easier. After much contemplation and a free entry, I signed up for Ironman Lake Placid in 2012. Many people try to do a half Ironman first before working their way up to a full, but I had the opportunity to train with some incredible people and get advice from some of the top people in the sport. Race day was incredible. I was in pain and thought to myself many times what I had gotten myself into, but I was able to complete the race in the under the 17-hour cutoff, which was my goal. In fact, I did better than that by completing it over 2 hours ahead of the cutoff. Now, crossing the finish line of my first Ironman is hard to describe. For most of the day, it felt less like a race and more like a conversation with myself. Every mile asking whether I could keep going, and every mile responding, yes, just one more step. By the time I had hit the finish chute, the exhaustion was real, but so was something bigger. Relief, pride, and a deep sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the months of early mornings, for the people who supported me, and for the simple fact that my body could carry me 140.6 miles. Hearing you are an Ironman at the end of the race made my accomplishment hit home, and I was overcome with emotion. Now, a few years after the race, I had the opportunity to move to Seattle, Washington for work. I spent the next 11 years working in a high-stress tech job where I didn't have a lot of free time to train. It wasn't until 2022 that I made time for myself and was able to do the Ironman 70.3 Maple Valley, Washington. I followed that up with another Ironman 70.3 in Salem, Oregon in 2023. However, since then, I've put on weight. As of this video, I'm 5 feet 7 inches tall and I weigh 212 pounds. Even with no time, though, I still run 3 to 4 miles a day, but it has little effect on my weight. In addition to the crazy work environment, 3 things attributed to my weight gain: beer, diet soda, and vending machines. Living in Seattle, I had some exposure to some incredible breweries. Georgetown Brewery makes Bodhisattva, which is my favorite. I've also been a diet soda drinker for years. And then the vending machine was also my nemesis, specifically Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I'd find myself getting one every afternoon, and those calories just don't do anything for you. Now, I'm no longer working in tech, and I find myself with time to get back into shape. Eating better and exercising more are on my agenda. And this channel is going to cover my journey. We'll talk gear, training mistakes, race data, and lessons from people who know the sport better than I do. Now, my first race coming up is Ironman 70.3 in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And you can follow me here as we work our way towards that race on Father's Day, and then my journey after that to get to an Ironman start line. So please hit subscribe, and let's keep this journey going. Thanks.